Hello and welcome to the Star Citizen News, this time for the week ending the 19th of June. We're going to take a look at the headlines, which, spoiler alert, is very Dragonfly-centric. It is the year of Drake this week, and then we're going to take a deeper look at what's been happening in the Community and CIGs shows in the weekly review. The headlines: the Drake Dragonfly sale. So the Drake Dragonfly is on concept sale until the 27th of June. This is a space motorbike and ground hoverbike hybrid with a very tiny profile. It does have a couple of weapon mounts on it, and it can seat 2 people, which is why it's so exciting as a ship, as a little tiny ship. It does cost $35 excluding taxes, which is pretty steep in my opinion. You can buy a 2-pack for $65, and it comes in 2 flavours of skin, black and the yellow jacket. And the yellow jacket is the more limited edition version, which is only available during the concept sale, although there might be rare limited edition ones available in the verse when the game goes live as well. So, treat it as extremely limited edition. They all come with lifetime insurance and 2 pieces of hanger flare. They also have their own class components. So when I say that, they have a smaller class than ship components, vehicle-sized components. Basically, the smallest non-handheld things as components. You can have 2 riders on these as well, so one of them's going to be piloting and firing the front cannons, and the other one's going to be sitting back to back with that pilot firing his handheld weapons. So I think that's a really great little mechanic there, and you're going to be able to ride on the planet's surfaces as well as flying around in space. They will need a parent ship to fly from planet to space and space to planet, and you will burn up in the atmosphere if you try to enter in yourself. And more importantly to a lot of people, these are going to make a lot of ships pocket carriers. They're going to fit into a lot of different ships. Apparently 8 or more will be able to fit into a a caterpillar, for example. And you can have them in like a freelancer as well. So if you want to know more about the Drake Dragonfly and all that sort of jazz, there is a handy ship buyer's guide that I've created, links in the description, so you can find out all about that sale. But that's not all. The Drake Caterpillar is also on sale at the same time, and you can grab this with 2 bikes, 2 of those Dragonflies, for $300. All of these prices are excluding taxes. They also all come with lifetime insurance if you purchase them in that pack. You can also purchase a Caterpillar separately for $245 during the sale as well, but it only comes with 6 months insurance. Though I'm sure a lot of clever viewers would have guessed, you can just grab yourself a Dragonfly and then cross-chassis upgrade or upgrade it to get that lifetime insurance token on the Caterpillar. And you can use the Caterpillar as an upgrade at the moment during that sale. So you can grab yourself an upgrade to Caterpillar from any other ship you currently have. This is likely going to be the last chance we get to have the Caterpillar before it's hangar ready, and I expect a price increase when it is hangar ready. So it looks like they've also already started work on the Dragonfly too, so it's possible that we could have both these ships at least hangar ready in the very near future. It'd be remiss of me to not mention the 2.4 issues. So Star Citizen 2.4 has gone to the live server, maybe a little too early. It's been plagued by a few annoying bugs, most of all the infinite loading screens occasionally, so CIG is working on a fix and a workaround for these. Please check out my video on Star Citizen Hot Issues for a couple of fixes to that. I've also got a Star Citizen optimization guide and a general Windows 10 and gaming tweaks guide that will help you get some better frame rates, get you some more stability in the verse. 2.4, yeah, some of these problems, they didn't really discover that there was going to be infinite loading screens and some of the issues because they needed it to go onto the live server to find those issues out. Basically, the amount of players and some of the extra things they found out from it going live allowed them to discover this problem, and then now they can work to hard fix it. I say discover, probably caused the problem in the first place. So if you are having problems with 2.4, please check out that Hot Issues guide. Hopefully that will help. Now let's move on to the weekly review. in 10 for the developers, episode 14. This was quite a system and worlds and lore building centric episode. Very interesting for some. There are many steps in making planets and systems. The lore team will roughly plan out a spec of a system and what they want from it, and then flesh out its gameplay features and what type of system and planets are going to be there, as well as points of interest, landing zones, and such, and how that all kind of ties into the lore. They then give that to the astronomers, who look at it from a mathematical point of view, and they work out where things should be, what they should look like, how they affect each other. Then the designers and tech artists will try and bring it to life. The Aurora 300i and Hornet will all be getting newer versions. It looks like the older models will be getting updated with garage states and in-game engine updates, lighting updates, that sort of thing, but they're going to be releasing newer versions of ships that are effectively been updated by the manufacturers. So eventually, in like 5 years' time, there are going to be really old models of ship which are going to be seen more as like old school retro cars and that sort of thing. I think this is really interesting, and I think this is really cool. The star system sizes. So systems are going to be huge, but they want to strike a balance between realism, fun, and technology limits of the engine. Average system sizes will be between 5 and 15 AU, although they could vary massively. The RSI Polaris was talked about very briefly. We know now that it's big, chunky, and also kind of slick too. Smaller than an Idris, but bigger than a Connie. I suppose it's relatively expected. The next ready ships. The next flight-ready ship will be the Reliant, almost certainly, and hangar-ready Caterpillar and Herald in no particular order. They can't confirm or deny anything, I believe, at the moment. The Galactopedia. So the star map is the cornerstone of the Galactopedia, which is being released in its first iteration very soon. They have some mock-ups of exactly how they want it to all look, and they want to define all the lore terms and flesh out the databases and UIs before it obviously goes live. There's going to be a search tool and a glossary here too. Lots of information. It's going to be available at the touch of our fingertips. They're also in the process of developing the technology for customization of characters and further developing it, I should say. And they will support the ability for facial reconstruction and general face customizations. You're going to be able to custom your clothing, your armor, and your suits, spacesuits, all that sort of jazz as well, obviously. Different sizes of characters are not currently supported, as it will require them to do lots and lots of extra coding work, but maybe in the future. And they won't be adding any new skyboxes because now they have procedural generated skies. Eventually they'd like to have proper day-night cycles based on the position of your nearest star, but that's something maybe one day in the future as well. That'd be amazing, but procedural generated skies are pretty solid, pretty awesome sounding. In Around the Verse Season 2, Episode 36, we found out some news nuggets from what the studios around the verse and around the world were doing. Down in Los Angeles, there's a heavy focus on the new item system 2.0. They're going to continue on that. They want to get that finished. They're working on controllers as well, flight and weapon controllers, so that items on ship can control specific components, that sort of jazz. The QA guys have been looking at 2.5, as well as playing on early builds of procedural planets. They've also been gathering feedback on the Vanguard for improvements as well from all the forum threads. Down in Austin, they've been helping to address some of those 2.4 issues. As I said, I have a video up on some of those hotfixes. Please check that out. But there's been some obviously critical crashes and blockers that they're helping out with, as well as they've also been trying to implement a lot of the animations from the mocap shoots that have been recent, and the old ones too. So hopefully we'll start to see some of that phase into the game eventually. Down in Foundry 42 UK, again, the UK have also been assisting with the 2.4 issues that have been occurring. They're also doing a big overhaul of the network code there to get some long-term fixes in place. The AI system should be in the mini PU hopefully by the end of the year. NPCs will walk around with their own agendas, their own kind of things, and that hopefully that's also going to be some of the stuff from the mocap shoots will also be brought in there. That's what I'm hoping. That should all be pretty damn cool. Down in Foundry 42 DE, they helped optimize 2.4 and generally continued work from last week. They've got some more work done on the procedural planets. They're working on some terrain for that as well. They've been working on head stabilization, getting that all nailed down and not making you feel sick, as well as doing facial tech for different levels of detail for heads and faces as well. And local physics grids have also been improved and refactored. This week's ATV interview was a continuation of the interview with Jim Martin from last week. He talks more about some of his previous work and some of the ships that he's had a hand in designing. There's a lot of Drakey goodness in here. This week's ship shape was all about the Dragonfly. Now, we talked a little bit about this in the headlines, and this is definitely worth a watch if you want to see some more info about the Dragonfly, why it's become what it is, and exactly what it can do straight from the devs' mouths. This week's MVP was Aeon Moon for his Sunset Buccaneers artwork. Very cool there. And this week's ATV Fast Forward was a quick look at an AI subsumption test. It was them chucking a load of NPCs with their own individual tasks to do in a social environment. In Reverse the Verse, there was a few other little tiny nuggets of information that we haven't talked about elsewhere. Obviously, there was lots of talk about the Dragonfly, the subscriber flare, the Saber model has been added to sub hangers. They drew the contest winners for the Dragonfly. Wickstrom, Pit 16, Azadama, Wrath McTarn, I can't say these names, Fist McCuffs, and Barney Ganrano. They all won things. They all won because they had cool, silly pictures of that Dragonfly. I'll put them in the description, maybe. There's also, I didn't win, so I don't care. They are planning to get the Steam controller working for Star Citizen at some point. There is work going into that at the moment. Ship commercials, they might return after they finish the Squadron 42 cinematics. They're obviously currently working on them. The Herald is being wrapped up now. There was a mistake from last week where they said that the Buccaneer was in grey box. That's not what they meant. They meant the Herald. The Buccaneer hasn't been started into its white box, I don't believe. Also, will we get the Spider Miner that we've seen in the past? So it's possible that it will be sold after the mining mechanic is in and released. But there's going to be a neat reason for us to have it and that sort of stuff, so that they'll revise and revisit that in the future. And that's kind of it for the Star Citizen news this week, guys. Check out the Dragonfly sale, even if you're not interested in buying one. It's nice to see the evolution of the Caterpillar, but also this new type of vehicle that is the Dragonfly. Remember as well, BritisonCon, which is a big Star Citizen convention and conference, is happening on the 23rd of July, so next month. And there's going to be lots of devs, YouTubers, streamers, hardware vendors, fans, alcohol, panels, and general Star Citizen socialising, and obviously most importantly, me! So grab a ticket and come on down to Manchester. Links in the description for that. Yeah, it would be great to see you guys. Any of you, pretty much, especially if there's alcohol involved. Woo! I'm giving away a Drake Buccaneer to one random commenter as well throughout the month of June. All you got to do is comment on any of my Star Citizen content throughout the month to be in for a chance for winning that. And you don't even need to be subscribed, although that would be appreciated. A special thanks to my Patreons for all that extra support as well, especially the ones that donate to me to have me insult them. That's a beautiful Patreon. So stress relieving in so many ways, being able to insult my fans, and they pay me for it. It's great. And check out my Star Citizen optimization guide and Windows 10 Ultimate Tweaks gaming guide. That is a lot of self-plugging I've just done. Oh, one more. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the verse. Thanks very much, guys. Have a great weekend.